What's up, guys? Michael Hager here. Wanted to make a little bit of an update regarding my previous video talking about the current state and future of medical cannabis. And just as it was expected, and just as I talked about, the governor did sign the bill into law. So as of July 2016, medical cannabis in Washington State is going to be changing extensively. So be prepared for the changes. There were a couple of minor amendments that the governor did actually veto, which are a little bit interesting, and I'll get into that in a minute. But just as I predicted in my last video, basically what this is going to do is to resurrect the black market, essentially. The whole point of this bill was to severely regulate the medical cannabis industry as a means of knocking out the competition for the heavily regulated recreational industry. And there was also a section of the bill that had to do with basically trying to alleviate a little bit of tax pressure on the recreational industry, and the governor actually vetoed that part of the bill. I'm going to go to a couple of notes that I wrote down here just to refresh my memory is exactly what that part of the bill was that was vetoed. So the governor basically vetoed a section which called for a revision to the current three-tiered excise tax structure to the current recreational industry. They were trying to effectively remove the existing structure and instead charge a single 30% tax to customers. Now what that would have done is obviously reduce the taxes that the recreational licensees are paying, but with the way it sits right now and will be in the immediate future is that it's still going to leave the recreational industry in basically a bit of a clusterfuck, to where the licensees are going to be highly taxed from the existing three-tier structure, on top of being currently double taxed due to being unable to deduct state taxes from federal taxes like other businesses are able to do, due to the status of the legality of cannabis at the federal level. So basically what this means is that it's still leaving the recreational industry to the point to where they're not going to be able to function as smoothly as they should. They're going to knock out the medical industry, which, as I kind of laid out in my previous video, kind of in a weird way was kind of like holding everything together to where it was making it so that the black market kind of was fading off. I mean, the black market within the last few years really has been quite irrelevant. So by getting rid of the dispensaries as a whole, basically what that, and also not reducing the taxes in the recreational industry, it's going to make it so that the prices in the recreational industry are still extremely high as far as the product goes, and you're going to get a bunch of people that are going to see an opportunity to grow cannabis outside of the recreational and medical industry and sell it at half the price. I mean, it's pretty much fucking common sense, and I've always said this from the beginning. I'm not sure I've really talked about it on my channel very much, but if they wanted to make the recreational industry work, what they would have done is, rather than trying to completely kibosh the whole medical industry, they would have actually taken a look at that and really examine what has already been relatively successful. Granted, I don't want that to be misconstrued, because it is a very unregulated industry, which, as we all know, was likely to come to an end at some day anyways. But I mean, they were still paying their taxes. Dispensary owners were paying their taxes. So now it's going to be no dispensaries there that are paying taxes, very high taxes on the recreational industry, which results in a very high cost of product, and it's going to open up a black market opportunity for people that want to get involved with it that can easily undercut the recreational industry. So I assume that makes sense to all of you, where you know exactly what I'm talking about. And without going into too much detail, I mean, I know a lot of people in this, from all angles of the industry, from recreational to medical to guys that basically they do see this as an opportunity to basically get back into the black market. There's a lot of people in the medical industry that don't really want to crack at the recreational industry, and I think it's kind of obvious what they're probably going to be doing. Me personally, like I mentioned before, my income doesn't depend on growing cannabis. I have my own business outside of the cannabis industry. So it's not really a huge deal for me. Ultimately, I think it kind of sucks. Although, like I've said, you can't deny that you didn't see this coming. So that's pretty much my standpoint on it. And, it's unfortunate. I think it's really unfortunate for people who truly need cannabis as a medicine. I hope it doesn't create too much of an issue for them obtaining that medicine. So it'll be kind of interesting to see exactly what happens. And really all we can do at this point is live out the next 15 months with the industry exactly the way it is, the medical industry. And just kind of see what happens. So that's pretty much it. Just wanted to update that the governor did sign the bill, and pretty much my prediction has a very good chance of coming true. So until then, I probably won't speak on this bill anymore on my channel. I probably don't really have much of a reason to, although in future episodes of the series you probably will see me talk about cannabis politics a little bit. Politics as a whole are not something that I usually really get off talking about too much in a platform like this. But as far as cannabis goes, it will be a topic in the future. But until then, everybody will just kind of have to conform to what's going to be happening with the changes in the current medical industry. So wish everybody the best as far as patients go, and everybody stay safe, stay within your laws, and we'll see you on the next video, which will be a garden update. So until then, everybody, peace out.